as bad as it is. Okay, that's the forestry conclusion. Then now we can start on the ethical half. National Fuel Gas owns about 100,000 acres of surface in Pennsylvania. They own about 500,000 acres of subsurface. As of early in the week, National Fuel Gas had a market capitalization of slightly over $5 billion. And they have to do that. Now, if you'll...
Well, you wonder why. What drives a decision like that? No, I don't...
So, if we go to the back of your little handout here. This, I believe, is called a Venn diagram. So, let's say this is the economic sphere, this is the social, this is the ecological. So, for a successful society, can we exist just out here in the economic? Can we exist in the social? This is the ecological. Should we change the diagram? This is the economic, and this is the social, this is the ecological.
Yeah.
So, from that perspective, if I knock you over and steal $50 from you, you won't get it. I'll choose him instead. You know? Okay, there you go.
Well, I got a $100 bill. I hope you leave change.
So, I am considered immoral for doing that. What are they considered for doing that? Where they took out hundreds of thousands of dollars, I don't know, but it would have been in the hundreds of thousands. And they left an environment that's going to be non-productive for generations, literally generations.
Well, the problem is nobody knows this. I mean, you know it because you're an adjacent landowner. All right. Yeah. I mean, so to educate the public on this, that would be the secret to preventing it from the future, presuming the public is educated enough to know that this is bad to begin with. But again, when it's done in secret, you know, as they say, the best sanitizer is putting things out in the open, putting sunlight on it.
So do they have an invasives problem at all?
Yes.
That's what I was going to say. They could cut that, they're going to...
At least half an acre of buckthorn, which is fairly not common to find a patch of buckthorn. And then there's barberry and multiflora.
So they cut that, they're going to have invasives everywhere.
Yes. And that's what a cut in a stand like that is definitely going to encourage the invasive. They're going to be worse after the cut. There's no question. And buckthorn... We don't have an example around here. Do you know what it is? Not sure. I probably do, but not by name. Well, it's a problem. I mean, when it gets thick, I mean, you're going to grow buckthorn, and buckthorn. That's it. Can't get through it. You can get through it, but nothing will grow underneath.
No, it's worse than rhododendron. It's thicker and hot, can be taller, and
It just takes
hard to kill.
Yeah.
It's amongst invasives, it's a bad invasive. It's not just an invasive, it's a bad invasive.
I would disagree though that the idea that this is tucked away and it's back on the back of the property, and so because people drive down roads every day in Pennsylvania, and there is non-sustainable practices going on, and it doesn't look like this, and then you could actually have an acceptable forestry practice, which would be an overstory removal, maybe for young successional habitat, and people think that's terrible because all the trees are cut, but there's maybe a young growth of aspen coming on or something. They think that's terrible, but people leave a bunch of junk and they think it's fine because it has a beautiful green fern understory, and they drive past that every day and they think that's healthy. And with as much woods as we have here in Pennsylvania, that's the green line. That stuff is
So,
What?
the green lies, Cecilia.
okay.
Go to the last page
Uh-oh.
of
Did I just step in it?
Call it a segue.
Happy to
So-
help, Troy.
between, I think it was between 2011 and 2014. I looked at 158 timber sales. And I graded them, and I had the names of everyone who conducted over here, which we won't get that controversial. So I rated them as blatant high grade, mediocre, and good. Well, look at the score.
Mhm.
These are foresters. These are people who call themselves foresters.
Question, wait a minute, quick question. On a scale, you're doing this on a scale of 1 to 10.
No, that's the number.
Oh, okay.
That's the number of
Okay.
high grades,
All right.
blatant
gotcha.
high grades.
So never want to go near number 32.
I happen to know who number 32 is.
Imagine that.
Two people with degrees in forestry from Penn State.
Last name begin with O.
Oh no.
That's a confirmation. Ends in Y.
So that's the damn green line, or a big component of it. And I'll even tell you who number 19 is, because you'll never guess. That was Hancock. It was when we bought this one. And they had one blatant high grade, and that was the cut across Stony Hollow because it lacked adequate regeneration. But they had 6 of the 16 good jobs, they had 6 of them. And so I would have definitely marked it. I definitely would have rated this as a good job, but it was not in this category because it wasn't marked in 2014. But I would definitely would have rated it good.
How do you explain that the range, that they're not just all good, that they've got some that are on the far end of
Well, there's two things.
not very good?
Consulting, they're all called consulting foresters, but they're all timber brokers. They work on a commission. So you can be a broker, you can be a forester, or you can be both. A broker can do good forestry, but they're working on a commission basis. So the broker can do good forestry and make a third or a half of the broker do high grades. So there is a strong incentive here. And there'll be cases where the landowner is going to demand a good job, and so they'll do a good job. I mean, if the landowner says, "You've got to do it this way, or we're not going to do it," they'll do a good job. But if the landowner, and there's a common conception amongst landowners that you cut it to 16 inches or whatever. Very common. I mean, we run into it often. That's the way grandfather did it, and it works fine. So, so you come to me and say, "Grandfather cut this to 16 inches. Will you like the price on that?" Like, okay. Rather than saying, "Is that really the best thing to do?"
I've talked to people that their moral conflict is, do I go to 12, 14, or 16? You know, that's it. And they're thinking that they're a good citizen because they settled on maybe 16 or fudged a little,
15,
went to
compromise.
14,
Yeah.
15, yeah.
And for a forester, if you can convince somebody, because I've spoken with landowners who flat out told me, I want to get the most money from this. I've owned it for 20 years. I want to get the money, and I'm saying it's not ready. You want to let the trees grow. You're just now coming, and they're their goal, their objective.
I paid 20 years of taxes on it. It owes me.
Yeah, right, yeah.
The
But-
land owes me. I don't know.
I
Yeah,
call-
but in the case that maybe I can get them to leave some better trees, or have the consulting or the professional that they bring in to do that, leave some better trees as seed source or more diversity, then it may not be a total.
Well, yes,
total
a
loss, but
mediocre is better than a blatant high grade.
Yeah.
But it isn't good.
It is not good.
I call that the last hurrah cut. The guy's my age, and like you said, he's owned it for X number of years. Maybe he can't walk to the back 40 anymore, so what does he care? I'm going to get that money. It's his last hurrah.
Make a point that follows something he said earlier about the public doesn't know. The part of the problem is the language that's used. I'm sure that high grade guys, it's a selective cut. It's a selective cut. That's a shelter wood.
No,
Well,
it's an overstory removal.
Yeah,
No,
it's an
they have people with forestry degrees doing this.
well,
But the guy has directions to do this, not to do forestry. But
it's the language. It is so imprecise
and that
for the public.
and they marked the timber. I mean, he marked that. I mean, it's a total waste of time. But
Right.
exactly. Blue paint marks on it. They
Total waste of
marked
time.
that thing.